Hello, my beautiful friends, my clever gift bag member, because A, you joined the gift bag, and B, you have opened up this video. And in this video, I want to give some really, really important information about manifestation, creation, and abundance, because money is one of the biggest storylines that our mind gives us as to why we are not free to live in the true expression of ourselves. So let me ask you this right now. Looking around me, I'm sitting here in Tonto National Forest. It's absolutely beautiful. I'm surrounded by nature, by trees. It's absolutely magnificent. I can feel the energy of the earth supporting me here. Is that abundance? Is abundance this car that I drove here in? It's a nice car. It's the nicest car I've ever had. It's an Acura. It's kind of bougie. Is that abundance? This is money that I won on the way here. Is this abundance? Is it abundance that I'm able to take the time out of my life to go on a road trip and sit in a national forest and make these videos? Is that abundance? Honestly, it's all abundance. But, and just let me focus on there, you can see the trees out there. Because what is abundance? Abundance is energy in motion. Abundance is energy in an expansive state. Abundance is energy in flow. And the reality is we are abundance. That is the true nature of our consciousness. But we receive all this conditioning and programming that makes us be definitive about what abundance actually is. So for most people, they're going to say this is abundance. So I'm actually, because this is a symbol of abundance and this money came to me relatively simply, I'm actually including it in this video because it has a strong frequency of money that flowed to me. And that's what I want for you to have as well. Because if right now money is the symbol that your mind says that is the flow of abundance, it's going to seek money to prove it to yourself that you are abundant. So, hey, vibe in on this. Some people might say, wow, that's so tacky, A, that you're flashing cash around, and B, that you actually told me that you won this money. It sounds like bragging. It sounds like whatever. I'm showing you this money and I'm telling the story because it's going to help to start activating your own unconscious belief structures about money. Those little judgments, those little voices in the head that are saying, well, that's not very spiritual. She won money. Yes, I won this money in a casino. Now, I'm not telling you guys to go out and gamble. I specifically, and if you've been watching my videos for a while, you will know that I've used everything from scratch lotto tickets to going to casinos to dial in my intuition. I have a bunch of videos of this on my Instagram page. And this isn't the first time that I have won large amounts of money using my intuition to guide me to the knowingness of what machine is going to pay off. Because basically, if you believe in the state of abundance, there's always consciousness out there that's going to pay off somehow, somewhere. And that's really what you want to dial into. But that's a very specific exercise that I use. But even as I'm talking about this, observe, what is your mind saying? Is it saying, well, that maybe you can do that, but that doesn't mean everybody can do it? Or, maybe you feel a sense of excitement about it, but at the same time, some disbelief is coming up. All the tools in the gift bag that I share with you is to help you have the tools to work through the resistant energy to you being in the true nature of who you really are, which is an infinite and powerful being, an infinite creative energy that is already outside of the egoic framework, infinitely abundant to create. You're also already infinitely valuable and worthy and deserving of receiving this. when I go into a casino, I actually heart center and I get into that place that already knows that I am infinite abundance and I am infinitely valuable and worthy and deserving of receiving. But that's not just me walking into a casino. That is a very instantaneous way when I go into a casino that I can receive feedback from my matrix that's telling me I'm not. So if I start losing, then I start to observe my belief structures that are telling me that, or emotions that I start to have. And I use the tools in the gift bag, including the love and acceptance, to work through the energy very specifically that starts to come up. So if I start to feel sad, if I start to feel depressed about it, if I start to hear the voices saying everything's actually stacked against you, there's no way you're going to keep winning. Even I might play for a while, go up and down, and then I'll go away and I'll spend 3 or 4 hours processing all the thoughts, feelings, emotions, belief structures that came up when I played. So I'm not telling you to go out there and gamble. What I am saying is you need to push your matrix to reveal to you the belief structures that are telling you that you can or cannot have abundance, or that you can or cannot have the freedom. There's a bee here. There's a wasp flying around me right now. The freedom to go out there and do stuff. What happens is a lot of the times the unconscious energy that we have holds us in a cage of belief. So your cage of belief might be exactly the reality that you're living right now. Maybe you've got a whole bunch of bills that you don't need to pay. Maybe you feel that you're a fixed income person, and so you live on a specific budget that you have to live in. Maybe you have a lot of money, but it's not making you happy, or you're so bound up in the amount of work it takes for you to generate that money that you don't feel free. Everybody is in a cage of their belief structures. And some of the cages are gilded and some of the cages look like nasty rat-infested prisons. But most people's sense of their potential is caged in by conscious and unconscious belief structures that they have. And so if you're happy within the framework that you're in, that's totally fine. I'm not using the word cage as a judgment, but more as a sense of a limitation. But if you want more than what you are experiencing right now, you have to start to push the cage and find the actual conscious and unconscious belief structures that are laden in the cage that is around you. So maybe for some people, the cage is the idea of, well, if I just go and do whatever I want, then my family's going to suffer, or something else is going to suffer. And a lot of those belief structures within the rod of the cage can be being driven from the good ego. Like the good ego may say, well, you shouldn't be out there, gambling. And again, I'm not condoning gambling. What I'm saying is it is a great way to discover the bars in the cage, the belief structures that are in the cage. And if you never go out there and push your matrix, you're not going to find out what they are. So something like getting scratchies and sitting down and playing them is a simple way that you can feel into the voices that start to come up, or the emotional energy that starts to come up when you're winning and losing, and what it starts to say. Even for me, I've had that experience where I've won a bit, and then a fear will come over and say, well, that's it. That's enough. You better not go for more, because you'll lose it all. And when I gamble, I do gamble. Like I put money away. I put whatever I've put into the gambling. Once I win it back, I put it away. And I have this structure that I do it. So again, I'm not condoning people going out and just spending the last money that they have. If you haven't worked your belief structures in such a way that you have a lot of clarity about what they actually are and what your sense of limitation is. For you, for somebody, Picking up a bill might be enough. If you have bills on your table or you notice a bill, that might be the stimulus that you need to sit down and work with your belief structures that are coming up when you're looking at the bill. The bill may be enough to push your matrix right now. For somebody else, it might be the idea of spending more money than they're comfortable on some area of their life. It could be a set of furniture that you're looking at and you think your budget is this amount, and then you say, I'm going to actually spend this amount, and start to observe the thoughts, the feelings, the emotions that start to come up, and then sit down and use the love and acceptance work on every thought, feeling, emotion, belief structure that comes up around that, because that's how you're pushing your matrix. Pushing your matrix might be going after a job that pays a lot more than you're used to being paid, and observing how your thoughts and beliefs start to push through. That is the threshold resistance starting to show up. So whatever activity you do, you have to step outside of your comfort zone. Even if you do it mentally at first, even if you just say, I'm going to go spend this amount of money, or maybe you're thinking about your business and like how much money you're going to spend on advertising, and you're saying the budget's only this much. What if you say to yourself, I'm going to spend double that, and look at the thoughts and the belief structures that come up? Maybe it'll be like, some failures from the past will come up, some memories of failures from the past will come up. You need to process all of the energy that is in those old memories that may be part of the cage that's holding you back. But if you don't push your cage, you're never going to find out what is in the bars that's holding you in that specific reality. So you can do it mentally, even if you don't have very much money right now. Just say, I'm going to go out and buy a Maserati. It's so silly, but a lot of people think that these things are signs of abundance. Or I'm just going to backpack across Europe for a year. Watch the belief structures start to come up that are in resistance to that. And before you take action, I want you to sit down with the love and acceptance tool and love and accept the part of you that is every voice that is arising in your mind that's in resistance to that, because you won't get outside of your cage until you really work with that resistance. Or if you do move outside of the cage of your comfort zone, let's just say you haven't done that work. You haven't done that work, you don't have any money, you borrow $50, you go to a casino, you throw it in a slot machine, you lose it straight away. That's your matrix now showing you what the cage is. You lost. So then you're going to have to sit and process the energy of that losing to get past that state of being. So I do a lot of things like skydiving and extreme things because I'm constantly pushing the cage of my belief structure around my reality. And the rewards that I receive from doing that work is I get to live in what many people would say is a state of freedom. But that comes from the work of doing the processing of the feedback from my matrix, and I've done it for years. So again, I'm not suggesting that you go take your rent money and go to a casino. Remember, I have done this work for years, but this is the result. I even know if I lose all my money when I go in there, I have the tools to sit down and gain energy from the painful emotions, belief structures, and everything that's going to come up when I experience that losing temporary, because I know that losing is also a temporary state. And in fact, it's actually giving me the opportunity to discover deeper levels of my belief structures. And then I process that. Now, I may have lost that money at that casino. It doesn't really... It doesn't happen so much really anymore, but or I may have lost the money on the scratchy, or I may have overspent on an advertising budget that didn't quote unquote really work. But when I sit and process the energy that's in all of that quote unquote losing, that's in the cage, my matrix just showed me the cage right then. When I sit and process all that that energy in the cage, I've actually gained energy, and that energy is available for my next step. This is why we always say, don't believe the illusion until you like it, until you get out there. And one of the biggest mistakes people make all the time, and I made it constantly, is that I would keep saying, I don't have the money to do this. Not realizing that money, this symbol, is only an energy that's going to flow and follow my intention. So if my intention is to go out there, and like I went after some big skydiving goals this year, which takes a lot of money, and actually I manifested the money before I even knew that I was going to really be on this path as intensely as I did, go on it. I choose to go on the path first. I work through the resistance when I feel the pressure of lack upon me, because money is always a story that plays in almost any time we go after something that we want. So it's always something that can be limiting you right now from going after something that you want. When you go after something you want, it's probably going to be part of the storyline. So process your thoughts, feelings, belief structures around that, and gain the energy that you get from that process, because that is the energy that is going to contribute to you having the expansion to go after something you want. I see money used as an excuse all the time, and it's one of the major teachings that the Circle give us. Money is just an energy that is going to follow your intention. If you keep giving the money the power over you, then you are in the cage. Money itself is the cage. It's the cage that's keeping you in limitation. If you say, I'm going to go after this, first, you may see resistance in the money matrix show up as part of your threshold resistance. You still have the power to work with the tools to harvest the energy from that resistance. Those tools don't cost you anything. They're right here in the gift bag right now, the love and acceptance tool. You still have that tool to work through that and keep moving forward towards what it is that you want, because eventually the tipping point will happen where the money starts following you. The money starts to follow me. Even sometimes I'll be like, okay, I'm a little tight on money. I might use my credit cards or something like that, until I know I have the time to really process my belief structures. And then I usually get a breakthrough, burst through, because I also completely trust that even if I use my credit cards, I'm going to be able to pay them off at some other date when one of those those influxes come through. Many people have a lot of belief structures about some of the things that I'm talking about, using your credit cards, using gambling, whatever it is. But I use the consciousness of everything. I am tapped into the all consciousness. And that's the place that where you go beyond those belief structures and those judgments. But you must be willing to work with the energy of resistance as it arises. If you don't do that work, then yes, credit card debt is going to be a problem. Yes, gambling is going to be a problem. Yes, spending money on advertising or marketing that doesn't work for you is going to be a problem. Yes, buying a car that's outside of your means is going to be a problem if you don't do the processing of the energy. But if you go, everything is consciousness, and especially the other most powerful thing is to be in your heart, because when you're in your heart, you are accessing the energy of all consciousness to support you in what you're doing. I give away a lot of stuff for free. I put a lot of time and energy into that, including all the stuff I put in the gift bag. So to me, getting a jackpot is the universe paying me for the time and energy and effort I put into, for example, making this program, which is my way to get this information out to anybody who wants it. Anybody who wants this can access this program for nothing by using the pay what you can. But it's very interesting to me how often people won't even do that, because their own resistance to their own power, which is what the tools in this boot camp will give you, is what is inhibiting. That is the cage. They say it's the money, they say it's the time, they say it's something else, but it's the cage of their own resistant belief structures that are keeping them stagnant and stuck and in that state. But everything in this boot camp is to give you what you need to get out of your cage. If your cage is, being out of your cage is sitting in nature for the rest of your life, do it. I like a combination of things. So I hope, and again, I'm giving you all the symbols. I've got my nice car. I've got this. I've got, I'm sitting in a forest. I have the luxury of time to take my time out of my life and do this and commune with the nature. The other thing is get out there in the world. It isn't all about what you think this is about. A lot of times people sit in their rooms and they worry and they're in their minds. Whenever they're in their minds thinking about money, they're actually activating the resistant belief structures that they have in their minds instead of being out there in the experience of your life. Because when you go after a goal, you will be in the actual experience of your life. And when you are in the now moment, in the experience of your life, you're opening up the gateways to receive. When you're in the now moment, that is the place that you need to be to receive. When you're sitting at your desk worrying about money, thinking, I can't do anything because I don't have any money, you're in your mind. You're projecting into the past or into the future, which is out of the now moment. So stuff isn't arising. Whenever I'm sitting around worrying about what to do, that's not usually when money starts to flow in. It's usually when I'm out skydiving. I mean, in the now moment, I'll go to my computer and then there's sales. Or while I'm on these road trips, I'm very in the now moment. I'm driving, I'm looking at nature around me. I'm seated in my heart the whole time and stuff arrives. These are the things that you need to understand about money. Is just energy that is following and flowing your intention. Get out there and start pursuing what you want to pursue. And when you feel resistance, use the love and acceptance tool in this gift bag to process the resistance, and then get out there again with your physical self to get into the physical manifestation stream. And the other thing you can do, your heart already knows you're worthy of this. Like this, your heart is already trying to send you this. It already knows you're this. Again, if you're in your mind worrying about money, you're not seated in your heart. But you can use your heart to help reveal the resistant belief structures that are actually limiting you. So go into your heart, do this now, focus in your heart and say, heart, show me. What do I need to be aware of that is creating resistance to me receiving money, abundance, fulfillment, joy, freedom in my life? And then just stay seated in your heart. If some emotion comes up, start to use the love and acceptance. If some beliefs start coming up, like, you're not smart enough for that, whatever it is, start to just use the love and acceptance. I love and accept the part of me that doesn't believe I'm smart enough to do that, whatever it is. If nothing's coming up, just stay in your heart. Stay in your heart for as long as you can. And sometimes when you do that intention, what will happen is the resistance will show up in your physical matrix. Maybe a bill will come in and you'll be like, but I just asked my heart to show me how to be abundant. It's physicalized something, just the same as when I do a scratching and I lose. I've physicalized something to help me go deeper, have more of a conscious awareness of my belief structures about that. So the bill shows up and you go, I just can't get a break. All you have to do is use the love and acceptance. Go, I love and accept the part of me that believes I can't get a break. I love and accept the part of me that feels like everybody's taking from me, but nobody's giving to me. Whatever it is, your heart is going to show you. Maybe it's going to show you a family member being really controlling on you. Same thing. I love and accept the part of me that is this family member controlling me. I love it. Maybe your boss just freaks out on you. I love and accept the part of me that is my boss freaking out on me. I love and accept the part of me that hates my job. Whatever's showing up, your heart is going to show you the energy and resistance internally and externally. And you're just going to use that love and acceptance to keep harvesting the energy that is in that resistance. Because once you've harvested that energy and given it back to your heart to create the new reality, now the heart is energized to send to you your form of abundance, whether it's freedom, whether it's happiness, whether it's nature. It's all there for you. And whether it's cold hard cash, maybe you'll get a raise, but you have to push your matrix. So your heart can show you, you can do things to intentionally put your matrix right now. Find the thing in the house that is bothering you the most. Maybe it is your ratty old couch, and sit with the energy of that couch. How does that ratty old couch make you feel? Maybe it makes you feel depressed. Let yourself feel the depression. Don't wallow in it. You sit with the energy of it. I love and accept the part of me that feels depressed. I love and accept the part of me that is this depression. I love and accept the part of me that doesn't believe I deserve a nicer couch, whatever's coming up. And then once you've done that work, come back and vibe in on this. Vibe in on the energy of the abundance. Sit with this. Say, that energy flowed easily and freely to somebody in a really fun way. I am receiving abundance in the same way. That sense of freedom flows to that person, Georgia, in a way. Sit with the energy of it. Commune with it. Be with it. Right now, this is an embodiment of abundance. This video is an embodiment, attunement of abundance. If you're resisting stuff that I say in this video, use the love and acceptance, but allow yourself to be with the energy that is embodied in this video that is abundance, because this is how the codes of abundance are coming to you. Whether it's the beauty outside, whether it's a nice car, whether that it is I am in a state of freedom that allowed me to pull over to the side of the road and make this video, or whether it is the imagery of this cash. Receive it. Receive it. Watch it and receive it. Everything in this gift bag, watch it and receive it, because it's got the codes of breaking out of the cage. I love you so much. I'm sincerely sharing this with you. Enjoy.